Morning, y'all. It's Monday. I'm Frank. Welcome back to the channel. So, I tried to put out a video last night. I thought I did it. YouTube, I guess, had other plans. So, okay. Let me start with Saturday. Saturday, I go to work. One of my homies from Philly, um, he knows what I'm dealing with. And he said, Frank, I'm going to send you something. You have to sign for it. The package will be there at 2 o'clock, all right? So earlier in the day, a package comes. It's something I had ordered for Major, but I forgot and had it sent to the shop. And I usually don't have anything sent to the shop. So I seen the box and I was like, all right, this is what Raheem sent me. I opened it and I seen Major stuff and I was like, all right, well, wait again, right? And then he called me and said, yo, it should be there around 2 o'clock. So I said, all right, I'll call you when I get it. And thank you, brother. Whatever it is, thank you. Around 2:30. He walks into the barber shop. Him and two of my other homies walk into the barber shop. Man, that felt so good. They came from, over 3 hours away because they knew I was dealing with a lot at the moment, right? They knew I was hurting. And they came and that made me feel so good, man. So good. Because I have people that live 3 blocks away from me, and they don't even check on me. And not that they're supposed to or anything like that, but that felt so good. Major had a wrestling tournament, so we left the shop a little early and went to the tournament. And we got there and it was awesome. Major got second place. He did so good, like super, super proud of him. Rachel's mom was there, her sisters, the girls, one of the girls, right? Um, one of my daughters. And a lot of people don't know that the twins, they're not biologically mine, right? I just raised them as best as I could. Um, so I see her mom. I say hello. And, she looks at me like I'm stupid. Doesn't say anything back. Just, gave me a look almost like of disgust, to be honest with you, right? And her sister, I sat down where I sat down, and I didn't realize her sister was like a couple people over. The only way I realized is because I felt something. And when I looked over, I seen her sister, and her sister gave me this dirty ass look and hopped up and like moved. And then somebody came down and like switched their seats. And it was one of those situations where she probably said, oh, I can't sit next to him. Switch me seats, something like that. Knowing her, that's just the way she is. And I'll explain to y'all some of the dynamics and why some of those things, got like that. Because it doesn't really have anything to do with me and Rachel breaking up. There's a couple other things, but I'll explain to y'all, maybe in a following video so that y'all sort of get a better understanding, right? So, all that definitely hurt my feelings. 100%. 100%. Those are people that I thought that I thought, were hold on. Sorry, this is a little hard for me, as you can see. Um, those are people that I thought, like loved me and cared about me, right? Um, but then you see how somebody really is, and you realize, okay, that's not the way it is, right? Those are people that I love and care about, right? Um, it's just the way it is, though, right? So as I'm sitting there and I'm watching Major's matches and I'm waiting for his matches, and Mercy wasn't feeling well, so she's hugging up on Rachel. Rachel's holding her, and then I grab her, and I'm watching Rachel walk, and I'm just like, once again, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this just was so crazy. Like, it's beyond my capacity. And I'm sitting there talking to my homies that came, and we're watching Major's match, and I'm explaining to them, how the tournaments go and stuff. And they said, and Raheem was like, oh, the girls are here? And I said, yeah, one of them is here. And he was about to go and say hi. And I said, you know, I said, she's up there. I said, I seen the look she gave me when I came in the door. And that look is because I told her I wouldn't pay her cell phone bill. That's why I got that look. This shit is just so nuts, man. So nuts. And I take Major and Mercy home, right? And Mercy wasn't feeling well. And then she ends up being up all night. I have to give her ibuprofen and her medicine. And I'm laying in the bed with her, and she wants me to hold her, and then she wants me to rub her back. And she just wanted to feel, I guess, loved and cared for. And I was like, this is perfect, because that's the same way I feel. And she's reciprocating it back, right? And I'm rubbing her back, and I can feel she's getting warm. And our plans were to wake up and go to church. And then I realized, I'm like, oh shit, Mercy got me sick as well. So yeah, whatever Mercy got, she gave to her father. And I'm not surprised. She sleeps like here on me for a little while, and then she'll sleep, on the side, and then we'll drink out of the same cups. And so I'm not surprised, I got it from her. So I stood in bed all Sunday, not feeling well. And then I got a call. Today's Monday morning, right? I got a call. It's 10:30, probably about 9 o'clock. And they said, um, you need to come to the hospital. And I knew this day has been coming, right? I knew this day has been coming. My father got admitted to the hospital this morning. They said he's in organ failure. Um, he's probably not going to make it, the next day or two. Like I said, I knew this day was coming. And I knew, this might sound selfish, or I don't know, but I knew with my luck and the way shit happens for me, I knew it was going to happen sooner than later, right? I'm here worried about Thanksgiving, all that stuff. And then now on top of it, I get a call, and they're like, yo, you got to come to the hospital. Your father's dying. Uh, which I knew. I just knew it was going to happen. When Rachel left and everything started going the way it was going, in my head, I was like, all right, what else could go wrong? Because whatever else can go wrong is about to go wrong. That's just the way shit works for me. Um, So I started thinking, right? And I was like, all right, my pop, different little things. And then I was like, man, just don't let nothing happen to my kids. All right. Don't let nothing happen to my kids. Don't let nothing happen to Rachel. And everything else I'll be okay with. Because I have no choice to be okay with it, right? Yeah. This shit is nuts. So I'm on my way over there. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Just one more thing, right? Just one more thing to put on the plate. And like I said, this is just the way things happen for me. And I understand this makes me a stronger person, right? But it's like, come on, cut me some slack here. Pass, give me a break. Just tag somebody else in. All that. Unfortunately not. So yeah, I was like, man, just tag somebody else in, right? Just sit me on the bench for a couple minutes and tag somebody else in, right? And then I'm like, damn, how fair is that of me, right? Like, I don't want it to happen to me, but I'm like, yo, here, make it happen to somebody else. Yeah, it's not very fair, right? Um, so then my homies, they end up, after Major's match, they watched this match and they end up leaving. So they drove 3.5 hours to stay for like 2 hours, you know. Um, and I told them, I just said, man, thank you. Thank you. And they were like, you know, no problem. There have been times where you did this for us. So thank you, you know. And it felt good. And then I come back, I drop them off and I come back to the tournament and I feel that same energy in the air, right? And I was like, man, yeah, it was just very, very weird. So let me explain something, right? Me and Rachel's sister, the one that got up from the bench and, was like, oh, I can't sit. And this is, I'm just assuming because I know her. So when we came home from jail, uh, she rented us. She does real estate. She's a realtor. She rented us her house. That was the first house we moved into, right? And when I first came home, the house, it wasn't ready to be lived in. The people that lived there prior didn't really take care of it. So I went in there and did a bunch of work to it, pulled all the carpets out, redid all the flooring in it, fixed little stuff that needed to be fixed. And then we ended up moving in and we made that was our first home together, right? And it was far from perfect. It was far from perfect. There was, stuff that was going wrong with it all the time, but it didn't matter, right? Because prior to that, we had been sleeping on a floor. So this was our first home. So little by little, we start getting on our feet, right? And we were on her phone plan at first, and then we got on our own phone plan, and just little things like that we started doing. And then right before we moved out, there were times where, stuff would go wrong in the house, and we would, maybe send her sister a message and be like, look, this and that and this and that. And, we wouldn't really get a resolution to it. Um,